Hi everyone, this is Amy the Potter, and I am putting handles on about maybe 70 mugs tonight and maybe some of them tomorrow. So I thought I'd do this board here, these ones here, on YouTube. And never really, maybe once I tried to go live on YouTube, so it's kind of new for me. And I'm gonna just kind of do my thing here. So, anyway, feel free to comment and I will either answer them as comments come in or I will try to answer them on the post because I believe this turns into a post. So these are mugs that I made yesterday and I'm feeling for the driest ones to start with the handles. And I can tell, but when I clean up the base, the feet, I can tell which ones are drier. This one's drier, so I'll just work from this way, that in that direction, and I'll try to organize them here as I clean them up in an order that they're just all there and ready for me. And as I do this sorting process, I'm also cleaning up the pots because I have a little rule that whenever the pot is in my hand, I want to be caring for it. It's like in my nurturing hands. Creating a little order, the moist ones on the left, the driest ones on the right, and the ones in the middle. It's a little bit wetter. It's a little bit wetter. So nice to touch the pots and be with them. I hope you can see them. Let me see. Let me see here. We can make this great. There we go. That's pretty great. I think we can make it even greater. Let's see if we can get you down to like a, whoa. It's like precarious things everywhere. Okay, let's see here. Trying to make it great. Okay. I think that's pretty great. All right, looks pretty good. Okay. So, let's see here. So just feeling for the driest ones. That one's on the drier side, that one's on the wetter side. Medium, medium, wet. Okay, I think we're pretty much there. So these ones first. Yes, these four first. Okay, so here I have my pots and it's in my hand, so I'm going to take care of it. Just look at the whole thing, and as I'm doing this, I'm choosing where am I going to put the handle. I'm looking for my least favorite part of the pot, and figure I could maybe cover something up with the handle a little bit. I'm going to put it here. This one I think was a thinner facet than the other, so I think I'm going to put it here, and now I have to think about where is a righty going to drink out of? Because most people are righties. And so I'm going to place the handle here at kind of a 90-degree angle to where I want them to drink. Now I have to do that because of this rim. This person's mouth is going to go somewhere, and I want to give it a suggestion of where to go. And I chose that spot because it's kind of different from the rest of the pot. That could be a place where I put the handle, actually. I want to think about this for a sec before I go on. I think I might want to put the handle. No, leaving it here. Okay, so now I have a bunch of these little clay lugs that I prepared earlier, and I did it on a Facebook Live. So if you happen to be on Facebook and you want to go see that, it was loads of entertainment making 90 of these things. It took me half hour to make the whole 90, including cutting it up and everything. So that was pretty good. That felt like pretty good. 90 and a half hour. That's pretty good, right? Okay, so I'm looking for here for a handle that feels like it fits the pot, and this is the one that I found. So I scored up my part I want the handle to go, and I have this as there's a point there. It doesn't look like a point, but it is. comes to a point because I clipped it off of a bigger one with my fingers. And then I just kind of go squish, squish, squish. And then I'm going to use my fingers to create a like weld of clay there. Really stick the clay on here. And then if I get it on, I can pull the handle right off the mug. Now I just want to recheck this one time, just where's the handle, what's the direction it's going, where's the place a person's going to drink out of. These mugs are a little more finicky in that way than a regular round mug where it doesn't matter where they drink out of. Okay, so here I'm using plenty of water on my hands. I just mostly keep my hands clean. I just keep if my hands are wet, they're clean, and if they're clean and wet, they run easily along the handle. Now here, they don't have to be as wet. I'm kind of creating these channels because that was the style that my teacher taught me that I liked, that he did. And then I'll pull the handle up a little bit with a little angle to give it a little rise, just a little bit. I mean, it won't actually look like a rise, but it will definitely prevent a droop. And then I look for the form I like. Before I attach it, I look this way so I can see, is it in alignment? I'm going to flip it over like this. One more time, check it for the linearness of it, like that it's on straight. And then I make just a little decoration to finish the foot. And people have been asking me about why I don't score the bottom of the pot, and that's because over time I've learned that it doesn't need it. You can totally attach the bottom part of the handle without any scoring, because it's more moist at the bottom than it is at the top. The top dries first. It's thinner, there's less mass there, it's just the driest part of the pot. Again, I probably learned that. Somebody probably taught me. I probably would have just always done it automatically. Now this handle will shrink a little bit. It looks big. It will shrink a little bit, but it's really important to me to make a handle that doesn't squish your hand against the pot. So that's my primary goal in making a handle, that it looks nice, it feels good, and it makes the feel good in your hand when you hold it. But the most important part is that it does not squish your fingers up against the mug. Now this is starting to sag a little bit, I think. I'll let it sit here and we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one. Okay, just 20 something more to go. This isn't 20 here, but I'll do some 20. Every time, I don't have a rule about this, then that, or the order of things. There's definitely an intuitive part of the process. So here, this time I'm cleaning it up with my sink. I was cleaning it up with my fingers. So that's kind of a fun part about the dance in the studio, is it's just kind of unfolding. The process is unfolding. Often you just use whatever tool you can grab, like whatever's nearby, and there's just some kind of thrill about it. Okay, about just the creative process, and that's a way to make discoveries. If you don't make big rules about this should be like this and that should be like that. Let me see, I'm picking where do my lips want to be? Hard to pick. I'm going to pick here. Put the handle there. Maybe you notice that I'm exhaling, and that is a great habit that I picked up also from my teacher. So my teacher, I talk about him a lot because he's such a big influence on my life and on my pottery career, and we were actually partners at the time, and his name is T. He's Vietnamese. I knew him as Ten Bin, but he goes by T now, Ten Bin. And anyway, I just always have to take my hat off to him because I learned so much from him, and I feel like I would know almost none of what I know if not for him. I know that's not totally true, but that's kind of how it feels. I feel like I'm a direct disciple, like I'm in his lineage. He's a great potter. He lives in Junction City, Oregon. Still lives on the land that I bought when we moved to town from Texas. We were working at a production pottery together, along with some other great friends who I've been reconnecting with lately, which is so fun and amazing, from the early 90s. And we just had this awesome community of potters in the middle of nowhere, Texas. And we just made a fun life there. We were having fun there. So cool. So cool to do random things with your life, Just do something crazy if you can. Or settle down and have fun there. That's what I'm doing now, and I love it. But I'm glad that I took the time to do the crazy, I'm glad that I did that back then, and I would do the crazy again sometime. If the opportunity arises, I would welcome it. Like sometimes I think, ooh, wouldn't it be cool to go like be an artist in residence somewhere as a potter, or here's this one. It's fun. They're lightweight, so they won't pull the pot over. And these pots are a little bit on the, for my pots, they're a little bit, I call them dense. Let's see what this one is. It's just a half a pound, but it's huge for a half pound. But if they feel heavier than my regular mugs, because you have to leave them kind of thick to do this faceting, and it's just that's a developing thing. Like, as I'm new to it now, they're a little clunky. This one's like a little wonky. Some of them are a little wonky, but over time, I'm gonna, even just in this round, I got much better at making them. So today's are way better than yesterday's. I made some this morning that are just way better because I kind of figured it out. Oh yeah, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. I'm like protesting it out. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so the handle goes here. The first time I made these, there were some that were like my favorites. And then there were some, I'm talking about during the making process, some that I was like so excited about. And then some that I was just like, so like, oh, that one came out kind of ugly. And then in the final fire, the ones that came out kind of ugly actually were so beautiful. I was so surprised with some of the results. So now when I have one of these and I don't really like it, or there's things I feel critical about it, I just let it go, because the faceting and the texturing and the glaze, all that stuff with the glazes, the way that they interact, really is unpredictable and different from anything I've ever done before. So it's pretty cool because I developed my glazes to stand alone. So each of my glazes is really meant to just be on its own. So I developed a bunch of glazes over the years. Some of them I just found, or somebody gave me the recipe, but some I worked on and developed. And I wanted them to be just beautiful on their own and beautiful in combination with each other. And that's what I was working on, was a kind of like not complementary colors in the technical sense, but glazes that looked good together. And now, by adding texture, which I've been longing to do for so long, all of a sudden I'm learning these new dimensions of my glazes that I didn't even know, because I've never used them with texture at all. I have combined them a little bit, like layered them, but never over texture, and it's just thrilling. So I'm just so glad to be still very much like kind of captive of my own business, you know. That's a roller. These are just beautiful. I learned these actually on YouTube. So when I went back to doing pottery, and I wanted to have this inspiration and do something new and inspire. Remember, I have no idea where. I went to YouTube and I looked up thrown and altered forms, and like the process. Like I wanted to see people do it, how to or whatever, thrown and altered pots. And I was just so lucky to find these two things. One was Dick Lehman making these facets. And then this other potter whose name I don't know, named John somebody, I think. And he was doing these roller things. This texture that this mug has. And I just never seen anything like it, and I just got so excited, and I watched them and I studied what they did and listened to their tips, and I just went and made them, and I was thrilled, just so happy to make brand new kinds of pots and pots that I loved after years of making pots that, you know, I liked a lot. It's not that I didn't like my pots. I liked them a lot, but I wasn't inspired. I just was proud. I was proud of them. They were good pots. But then when I started making these, it's like really a whole new world. So anyway, that's my little story about YouTube and inspiration. How amazing. You know, I did not, when I was learning pottery, there was no YouTube, I don't think. So, yeah, and then I've totally become an Instagram, like, I think we could use the word addict because I just love watching people make stuff and so much variety. And when people are willing to show their process, I just feel so grateful that like we could try it too. And that's why I'm totally into sharing my process. Because when I stopped doing pottery for several years, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go back to it, and I just didn't want all that knowledge and experience to like go to the potter's grave with me, you know. So that's when I started making videos back in like 2015 or so. And yeah, I just maybe earlier. Anyway, I love to share, and I used to be more guarding of my skills and tricks and stuff. I didn't want any competition out there. I'm gonna make it that little spot. It's like so obvious that that's supposed to be a mouth. That like even looks like a mouth. Maybe this would be a new way to do it. I could put like lips right here. I could draw a pair of lips. I guess it would just be the bottom lip and nobody would know what it was. So I'm not gonna do that. But but isn't it fun to have the ideas flowing? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm gonna go into my kind of personal mode and just be with the pot here. I'll talk again if something comes up, if I have something I want to share. tell if people are here because there's a banner here, but if you are and you want to ask any questions, ow, my hand just cramped. Go ahead, I'm happy to answer questions. Let's take that one off now. Candles are all sagging tonight. Must be getting them kind of thin, or they must be a little on the wet side. Okay, clean it up. Oh, and then one thing I did was that I combined the two techniques that I learned on YouTube. So one was this faceting technique, like this mug in my hands, and the other was the stamping technique. That was that big mug that I just did, or I'll show you like this one. And then I combine those two techniques, so I have some mugs that are stamped and scrolled, like stamped and faceted. That's a nice spot right there. Okay, this one's got a couple nice spots. The handle, like I kind of want to make this one for a lefty, just in case. Okay. Sometimes it just hits you, right? This lefty mug, but this one would work with either one, which is nice. Okay. That's too big. This is a small mug. It does not need a big handle. Okay, this is part of the lesson I'm learning. It's don't thin them out so much. Don't thin them out so much. Okay. I just taught myself something in this live as I've been talking. I haven't been telling you what I've been teaching myself, but it's a little hard to explain, but there's something about the way that I join the handle for my decoration. That's why I don't really need to explain it to you, but I've been doing this for a while. I mean, like years. And I've been struggling with this one part of the handle on the left side of the handle, the attachment. Just, I haven't ever liked it as much as the one on the right side. Like here, I press my finger in there and I like that. And on this side, it's always been a problem, but I just figured out how to fix it. So I think it's going to be just as likable on that side, which is really wonderful because it's been a little nagging at me. Okay. Let's see if we can try to make them a little thicker. So wonderful when you figure out something that then saves you like lots of trouble, makes the whole thing easier. And that's really how you get to be a good potter, probably a good martial artist too, is just learning to make things simpler and easier. Less moves, less work, less effort. It's really the key. So yeah, that looks good on that side, and it also looks good on this side. Hey, I did it. Such a simple thing. Such a simple thing. Wonderful. Okay, and we'll see if this one is a little bit drier or thicker and maybe won't sag as much. We'll leave that right here and check it in a little bit. What about this guy? Just look it over, see if anything wants to be hidden. Sometimes there's like an area on these that just like there's like kind of missing some of the decoration. We'll just put the handle there. Okay, pick one of these bigger handles because this is a little bit of a bigger mug. Oh, so there it is. It's just putting my thumb right there. That's all I did. And just that one little move right there of putting my thumb there just completely changed these handles for me. And that was, I think I said earlier that I made these faceted mugs last night, and then I made another round this morning because I figured out, like, why am I struggling with these? What is wrong? Why am I struggling? And I realized that I was pulling the clay too tall. I was making it too tall to start. I needed to leave it shorter at the beginning. Yeah, and as soon as I figured that out and left it thicker, then it's like you have clay to play with. It sucks when you're just pushing the edges so much that it like takes away the there's no clay left to hold itself up. It needs some clay. A pot needs some clay. I used to try to make my bottoms like really, really thin, and it's actually kind of a bad habit that I still have to watch out for. I make them really thin, I do, most of them. Because I don't trim, so I liked the bottoms to be thin, but like with bowls, I do trim them, and it's just nice to have some clay down there to trim if you're gonna trim. At least have a little bit there. Oh my gosh, I hope that makes sense. I'm a little loopy. I've been in the studio a lot today. More than usual. I like to think of myself as a semi-retired potter, but really I'm kind of so into the process right now. I'm a little bit full on. Except for all the other things I do. Okay, let's see here. I think that handle will hold. But it does seem to be sagging too, even already, a little bit. Okay. I still can't see what's going on here. Oh, somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Oh my gosh, all these notifications coming. I have an Instagram page, Amy the Potter, and I have my main Facebook page, Amy Palatnik, and I had a Facebook pottery page, but somehow I lost control. I'm out of control. I lost control. Okay, now this one has this very specific thing here. It would be great to put a handle right there if another space makes sense. Yeah, I think I'll do that. It's a pretty ambidextrous place to put a handle. It's also good to think about the lips on the clay and how the water's gonna translate from the inside to the outside. So, just something to think about. I like a relatively thin rim, generally. I had somebody visit once and he said, well, rims should be thick because that's what feels best when you drink. And I was like, I don't agree with that. Not my experience. Okay, got a big pile of stuff here. I'm looking for a small one. That one's pretty small. Okay, this one I'm just gonna smush in. I'm gonna do some smushing in. They go so much faster if I smush them in. I want to make sure that I'm Might tip this up a little bit. I think I'm like bending down so you can see it. And I think I can bring you up to me. So let me tip this up just a little bit if I can without doing too much. Hey, that's much better. Okay. I've been saying it a lot lately, but touch is not Clay's love language. Clay really does not want to be touched too much. Just what you gotta do to get it there. Lips here. Handle here. Okay, this one. So earlier I was doing this other style of handle where I was pushing my pinky in and making a little decoration there at the joint of the handle to the mug, but now I'm doing this other style of just, like I think I said a couple minutes ago, like just smushing it in there. Called the smush. Doing the smush. I'm thinking there might be another angle for you. I might move you. Okay. I'm doing lives on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Just experimenting. Who's out there? This is the smush part where the handle just becomes part of the mug. No special anything there, just smushed. Okay. Just getting it to where I want it. I'll set it down. I'll keep an eye on it, see if it droops like this one just did. They're pretty much all winding up upside down. Under normal circumstances, these ones I'd only leave upside down for a couple of minutes. But right now, things are just drying slowly. So I'm kind of like putting them there and not even thinking about them. Okay, here we go. I'm getting hungry. Don't think I had dinner yet. Just some cherries and popcorn. I don't think that counts. You can feel free to comment. Awesome stuff, Amy. I love the lips idea. Oh my gosh, somebody's watching. Hi. That's awesome. The lips idea. This is where your lips go, little arrow. Drink from here. Okay, let's see here. There's this. I can't really tell who's here, but if this is this Samuel who I know? Like my friend realization process, Samuel? I don't know what your last name is, so if that's you, let me know if that's you. I need to get in touch with you. It's been a wild ride around here, but it's starting to calm down. I think. I hope. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Okay, let's see here. I think it would be nice to drink out of right here. Here's this little problem of, oh, I made it a big problem. I just put my finger right through the pot. I was trying to kind of, let's see here if I'll be able to do that. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe that's where the handle goes, huh? Attaching right there. Yeah, let's try that. See if we can solve that problem I just created. Okay. This one. I'm seeing that it's been like 40 minutes and I've only done like 10 of these, which is, I guess it's 4 a minute, but I mean, yeah, I mean, one every 4 minutes, but it shouldn't take me that long. I think it's because these just take a lot of time to clean up and yeah, they take more of my attention. Okay. Keep waiting to see if this is my friend Samuel. I think it is. Maybe he's gone away now. This one I just forgot. I did the regular kind. Let's do the smush style. Oh yeah, I was gonna move the video behind me. See if I can. Okay. I'm not gonna push that into shape. I'm gonna see if gravity will do it. And let's see here. Moving you. D, moving me. Okay. Let's see here. Trying to get you in a position where you can see what I'm doing easily. Let's see how that goes. This one came out how I wanted them to, with a little kind of a double foot. I was having a hard time getting that double foot yesterday, but today I figured it out. Diamond hands. Don't touch the thing. Have you heard of diamond hands? I learned it around the GameStop. Do you remember this GameStop thing? It's kind of like this crazy random stock that went through the roof because of this hedge fund thing, Wall Street, yada yada. Anyway, I learned about diamond hands, that when you buy a stock, you buy it and then don't touch it. Don't go buying it and then selling it and, you know, doing too much. Kind of like the pots. Touch is not Clay's love language. Touch is not stock's love language. They want to be left alone. Okay, let me have this be the drinking place, the lips place. Here is the center of my, oopsie, ooh, almost dropped you. I have some ninja skills around here. Ninja skills really help with life in general. Okay, let's see what we got here. That's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. Let's see if we can find a lighter one. This one's pretty good. Is that one lighter? I think so. Let me see. Hard for me to see what you can see. I used to use a sponge here to attach it, but I realized you just do not need to. It's an extra step. So that's what I've been most interested in over the last, whatever, couple years. Like back before I stopped doing pottery the last couple of years, and then as I go back to it too, still in that place of really, I mean, I've always been a disciple of efficiency, the God of efficiency. I pray to the God of efficiency. And so I'm always interested in eliminating extra steps when I can. And I'm always looking for that. And I learned, so with throwing, I learned that I was just automatically, without thinking about it, putting my sponge down and picking it up like 4 or 5 times each pot. And so when I noticed that, I was like, what would happen if I just kept the sponge in my hand? Or maybe there's a couple strategic places to pick the sponge up, put the sponge down, you know, just limit it to those kind of crucial points, times that make sense, instead of constantly doing it. It was all these extra steps. Okay, we're just putting this down instead of shifting it. I think that's, see there, I just did it. I just did it. So before I was pulling the handle, attaching it, looking it, and then kind of pushing it down. Usually I kind of push it down into place. And then from there tonight, because of something, maybe it's this clay, which is a little bit new to me, it was sagging. The mug started sagging. So then what I did was, now I'm throwing them and I'm not pushing them down, I'm just leaving them be. And I think they're gonna sag on their own into the shape I would have pushed them down into anyway, with my friend gravity working for me. So that, talk about eliminating steps. How amazing. I think this is a revolution and a revolution. Here in my studio right now, it's happening. It happens all the time. If you bring some awareness to your process, you can just learn so much and change so much and make it so much easier and better. A little bit of awareness goes a long way. Okay. I like that one. I like that one. Let's see, these 2 to drink out of. So if my handle is here for a lefty, here for a righty, I think this one, this one, this one. Okay. It's fun to think about, like eventually this pot will be in somebody's hands. It will be a person's pot, somebody specific. It will be their pot. So I like to think about, like, in that moment, there's certain times, certain pots, certain people where I am kind of dreaming forward to the owner of the mug, holding it and loving it, and I'm just having their experience, and that's informed some of my decisions that I make. Like right there, it's like, who's going to be drinking out of this mug? Where should this mug be drunk out of? I used to do it a lot with teapots because I would put these secret messages inside my teapots. And I can't imagine making a a teapot without a secret message. So we learned that. I learned that from my Texas crew. We used to do that. I have a funny story from that, but I think I'll tell it when I make the teapots. Can't wait to make some teapots. That'll be so special. Teapots are so sacred. Let's see, this one felt a little bit overworked, so we will see what happens with the whole slump situation. Diamond hands. Oops. There it goes, it just fell down all by itself. Okay, let's see. Okay, a couple more. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know if I've talked about it in this video. I talk about it in just about every video I ever make, but breathing, I think, is the most important part about building mastery. Breathing as you do whatever it is you do. It doesn't have to be pottery. And the breath is so amazingly accessible and free. It's just right there for us. So all we need to do is pay attention to it. A little bit on the small side. Goldilocks handle, there we go. It's a quiet moment in the live video, but if you're just tuning in now, some exciting things have happened here tonight. I've grown as a potter on this live, and that's what I always aspire to do. One thing I love about pottery is like it's endless as in terms of learning goes. Like there's just never going to be a point when you've like finished that and mastered it, because you could always try something new and different. You can always go a step bigger or wider. There is no one perfect pot, and even if you made one that you felt like was perfect, can you make 100 like that? You know? So it's just such a wonderful ongoing challenge, such like a sphere of challenge. And then there's just so many dimensions of doing pottery. Like if you're a wheel thrower, there's the throwing and your skill as a thrower. There's form and how well do your things function. There's art, there's color, there's glaze chemistry. There's like, I don't know if I said it, but function, like does your teapot pour really well? There's, oh, don't touch it, diamond hands. There's, God, there's just so many aspects. There's marketing. There's, yeah, human interaction. There's relationship between you and the clay, between you and your customers, you and your business, you and your process, you and other potters. Yeah. There's all the elements: earth, water, fire, air, drying the clay, inspiration, air, inspiration. There's speed and efficiency. There's ingenuity and like the cleverness of your pots. I really love coming up with new clever pots. I used to have so many pots in my booth that I had to explain to people, and that creates relationship, right? When somebody like looks at something and they're like, what is a French butter dish? I've heard about these, but I have no idea how they work, you know. Or there's several pots in my booth that were like that. Pick that handle there. That's great. Okay. That's a good one. just dip this in the water, so it's just a little bit of water. That's all it needs. I have a podcast on YouTube. I usually just upload videos. I don't usually do lives like this, but I would like to. If I could figure out, maybe I need to use hashtags or something, or make an announcement. I don't know how you get people to come to your YouTube lives. But I'm pretty sure this just turns into a video on my channel. So I found that lives are actually really effective after the fact. You don't have to be there live to catch the live. I fixed these handles tonight. That's great. I got this new method of doing the handles. I once got a message from my subconscious, from my innermost self, my dreaming self, that I'm supposed to make my process public. And that's stuck with me, and that's part of why I do these things. I could just as easily be quietly putting handles on, all by myself, talking to myself, which I do. But the universe or spirit or my highest, wisest self told me that I was meant to make my process public. So can't really turn down a mandate. Or I didn't want to, at least. Okay, 3 more. That's pretty good. 3 more, then a break, then something different. Like more mugs, more handles, but different mugs and different handles. Well, similar handles. Let's see, did I forget to clean this one up? One thing that I've been saying to myself lately about the whole process with clay, with pottery, is that there's nothing mysterious about this. I just love that. I love that. There's nothing mysterious about this. If one side is different than the other, it's because I made it that way. It's not because it just somehow got that way. Everything is like cause and effect. Nothing is unstudyable. We can learn just by paying attention is mostly what I'm saying with that. My podcast is called Wisdom from the Wheel, and I don't know if that's too bragging, you know what I mean? Like, have I earned that? Can I say that my words are words of wisdom? I think I can. I feel like I can. But if it constellates defensiveness in people or judgment, then I would want to use my wisdom to use a different title, because I'd rather not be dealing with that. I just really want to help people. And yeah, wisdom from the wheel. Because I'm not only a potter, but I'm kind of a philosopher. I'm writing a book about self-love. It's called The Ancient Art of Self-Love. So I want to help people be kinder to themselves and gentler. Most people are terribly mean to themselves inside, quietly, secretly. Sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. The inner critic, it's called. So many good ones on this one. Okay, let's do that. Random pick. Okay, one more after this, and then I get to have a snack. Take a break, have a snack. Okay, this one. Looks like at least one person's there. I don't know who it is, but hi, if you're there. Me and you. Sometimes I'll do a live and then I'll get off and I'll see all these comments afterwards. And I'm like, oh my God, there were people there. Go and throw their fix these handles. We're watching the Game of Thrones right now with my partner's parents, which is fun and exciting. And I've never seen it before. And let's see, what did I want to say about it? Oh, it's so interesting how there's so many people in the show who are just like so awful, you know? I mean, like just like really, really, really awful. They treat people terribly. But then if they start getting treated terribly, or if they die or something like that, it doesn't seem good either. Like, I don't want to say anything if you haven't seen it, but recently somebody really major in the plot died, who like was kind of a villain of the show. And it just creates complications. But there's, in that moment when you see them dying, it's not like you're like, yes! You're like, what? What? They're dying? That person's dying? So, this is the last one, everyone. If you got anything to say, I'm here for it. Okay. Let's see. I am really getting happily hungry. This is one thing I also teach, is I teach people about eating, pleasure-based eating. And part of pleasure-based eating is about developing a positive relationship with hunger. And there's something that you can experience hunger as really ecstatic. And it's really cool when you get to that point when you can experience hunger as ecstasy. My cat is hungry right now, and I can tell. I don't think that he's ecstatic. Doesn't sound like ecstasy. But yeah, that's a great part of developing a more positive relationship with food, is about developing a more positive relationship with hunger and experiencing hunger as our aliveness, our desire, our, yeah, openness, receptivity. And oh my gosh, pleasure-based eating will change your life. There's so many cohorts I want to run. I want to have a cohort of production potters. At first I thought it was going to be women, and then today this guy got in touch with me saying how helpful my video was for him. And then I was like, oh, well, I could help a man too. It doesn't have to be just women. But yeah, I want to mentor production potters. So that's a fun thing that's kind of coming up in my future in some way. And there's that. And what else? Oh yeah, my pleasure thing and meditation and pleasure-based movement, Nia, and this my own pleasure-based movement style that I'm kind of back burner developing, theoretically developing. Every once in a while I work on it, but so many other things I love being in the studio. Okay, here we are. So now I've done all of these handles. Yay, little party. I'm gonna just kind of do a little temporary cleanup here because I plan to be back down here tonight and do more, but just in case that doesn't happen, it's always good to kind of put things together. So I'll just move these handles so they're close, not a lot of space between them. You can just stack right on top of each other as they do. Here we go. Let's take that out. And we'll cover that up pretty good. Although I feel like if they dried up a little bit, maybe they'd slump a little less. So here we go. Now, taking a look at some of these handles. I think we start over here. Is that one a little bit slumped? Yeah, it is. Let's see if we can take that one off now. That one on. Want the handle part to hang off the edge. Okay, so this is great. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, we'll put the handles facing in to protect them. I want to get like any kind of schmutzy stuff off the board. Let's see this one. I think this could go upside down for a little while too. And this one also. Okay, let's put that right like that. This one looks fine. So I will now do my thing of kind of creating that form on the bottom. Just a little bit. That's all it needs. Okay, there. And this one, same thing, just a little bit, create a little bit of space, a little bit nicer curve. Okay. I touch it to the next pot. They're touching. So eventually I'm going to pick up this whole wear board, and all the mugs touching will help me, creates a stability, and then I can pick up the whole board without worrying. Let me just make sure they're not hanging off the edge. No, they're not. Okay. Okay, fixing that. Every day I'm like, I hope I don't have anything on my schedule so I can work in the studio all day. So fun. I'm an addict. I'm a workaholic. I always have been. Okay, let's see here. I'll turn that one upside down for a moment. And let's see about this guy. Looks great. I can't tell what you can see. Here we go. Okay. These are looking nice. It's so nice to, I think I said this earlier, but I did not love these mugs yesterday. I was a little disappointed. They felt like a little bit kind of wonky, a little bit wonky. And now, I don't know. I'm happy with them. Yeah, I still kind of like that side a little bit better. Well, I still have layers of work to do on that project, that problem of liking the one side better, but nothing mysterious is happening here. Okay, so these feel pretty good to me. I got 4 more that are just drying out a little bit. I'll come back for them a little bit later. Turn them over, carry the board over, and probably be done for the night. I'll do some more tomorrow. So that's been fun. Thanks for watching. If you got this far, that's amazing. And yeah, hope that some of it's helpful. Obviously, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I think you're supposed to say this at the beginning. Subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends, whatever. Let me know how it's going. And thank you. Have a great day and night and life. Okay, now I just have to figure out how to get out of here.